Demands of a ceasefire between Gaza and Israel being heard in Salem.
Free, free Palestine!
Organizers say 300 people took their plea to the streets. They say the need for an intervention is simple.
It's genocide, it's ethnic cleansing, it's murder.
And they say the U.S. government is helping fund it through aid.
I'm a taxpayer, we're all taxpayers. I don't want my money to go to killing or genocide anywhere.
This money shouldn't go for killing. It should go for our kids' education. It should go for our cities to be improved.
Massachusetts is more than 5,000 miles away from Gaza, but locals say they can still feel their pain.
There isn't a Palestinian family anywhere in the universe today that did not lose somebody or something with this.
Including the Shafai family of Plymouth.
So I think today was their 5th time attempting to cross.
Hanai Shafai's brother Hazim has spent days trying to flee to Egypt. He and his family are trying to return home to Plymouth.
The supplies are very limited, and the aid coming across the border is extremely, limited compared to the needs that exist.
The kibbutz where my family was overrun.
Jason Greenberg has just returned from visiting his sister and her family in Israel. This is them gathering Friday night. By Saturday morning, the sirens were blaring and Israel was at war. He quickly got his father on a flight out of the country, but tonight is sick with fear over the fate of his cousins, their 3 children, and his aunt, among the 100 or so innocent civilians taken hostage by Hamas. This video that is circulating in Israel shows 12-year-old Ezra being abducted.
That's him being taken, right?
That's him being taken, yeah. A feeling of helplessness.
Yeah.
There's nothing more that we'd like to be able to do than to help them, and there's literally nothing we can do right now.
Greenberg says he understands that there are always politics and passions involved, but says in this case, Hamas deliberately targeted the innocent.
No matter how you look at it, death is bad. Brutality is bad, and it doesn't solve anything.
Israel says its fierce offensive against Hamas has only started, but now Hamas is threatening to execute the hostages, many of them women and children. Jason Greenberg, like so many worried family members, is tonight appealing for decency.
Let these people go. Please, they've done nothing to you.
It's incredibly difficult to move forward after such an unthinkable tragedy, but that is what the people here in Lewiston are trying to do. After days of uncertainty, sheltering in place, the people of this community are finally able to come together and grieve the loss of their friends and neighbors. It was a revolving door of parishioners at the Basilica of St. Peter and Paul, with people seeking comfort in prayer and in each other.
It was very healing and very helpful, especially for the shooting that happened. There was a lot of people that were in there praying and everything, and I prayed for them as well.
It's going to take a long time. That's all I have to say. They're going to take a long, long time to recover from this tragedy in Lewiston. It's sad. It really is sad for this day. It's terrible. It's not going to be the same.
This is the time for Lewiston to stand strong, and we know this is just the beginning of the healing process. People we've spoken with say, this city isn't going to return to normal in a day, a week, even a month, but that the community will get through this. In Lewiston, Brianna Borghi, WCVB News Center 5.
Shoppers at the Chatham Village Market are stocking up on essentials, preparing for whatever Hurricane Lee might bring.
We loaded up on groceries and games and cards, and so we're going to hunker down for tomorrow, me and my son.
Winds are picking up along the Massachusetts coastline as Hurricane Lee approaches. Chatham, like other Outer Cape communities, could see powerful winds and storm surge.
Our biggest concerns right now are power outages and flooding. Fortunately, right now, the guidance is all tracking in a direction that this is going to be similar to a nor'easter, which we deal with all the time in this area.
Town buildings equipped with generators will be open Saturday.
Some of our residents are on medical equipment that not everyone has a generator at their house, so what we're trying to do is figure out how to support them.
Chatham's downtown is busy today with visitors making the best of it.
and we're actually celebrating our 23rd anniversary tomorrow.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hurricane Lee has a gift for you.
It does, it does. We're from New England, so the weather always changes, and we're just going to ride it out.
Experts say the shortage is tied to there not being enough applicants and pay, but that can mean prescriptions that used to take hours to fill can now take days.
If you walk into a pharmacy now, you may only see like 2 or 3 pharmacy staff behind the bench, where 20 years ago there might have been like 4 or 6 people.
The state's Pharmacist Association sounding the alarm on a worker shortage that can't keep up with growing demand.
An increase in prescription volume, increase in vaccinations, complicated insurance issues.
Joanne Doyle-Petrangelo with the association says this means it could take days to get prescriptions that used to take hours. She says big chains like CVS have been hit hardest. The retailer saying in a statement, "We face unprecedented demand and a clinical workforce shortage in the healthcare industry and are making targeted investments in our retail pharmacy business in direct response to feedback from our pharmacy teams."
They just overworked and they got, burned out.
Xiaoyan Qing worked at a CVS pharmacy for 13 years and is now the owner of Union Pharmacy in Newton. She says the workload at bigger pharmacies is just not sustainable.
Every day they're filling over 500, 600 prescriptions a day. It's very stressful because you have to fill prescriptions, you have to do the vaccinations.
Doyle-Petrangelo says consumers should be patient with staff as their main priority is providing guidance.
They be paying pharmacists because they want to help patients. And that is really what drives us.
Experts say to avoid a lapse in your prescription, you should always have at least 6 to 10 days worth of medication before calling in a refill. In Newton, Danae Bucci, WCVB News Center 5.
Overnight and into the early morning hours, this parking lot behind me was filled with people celebrating the long weekend and others going off to college. That is until someone driving by opened fire.
189 Essex Street, shots fired.
A party in Lynn turned violent.
Black SUV came up, fired rounds, took off.
After police say a drive-by shooter shot 7 people, killing at least 1.
This was not a random act of violence. This was targeted, we believe.
Those shots fired around 2:20 a.m., according to police. 25-year-old Abraham Diaz, pictured here on the right, was killed. His older brother Brian, remembering him as a supportive person who looked out for others and was great on the court.
He was a good kid. He also represented this logo on my shirt. He played for Boston Spartans. That's where he played a lot of his basketball. He was a really good basketball player. That's pretty much it. I just can't believe this happened.
A friend of Abraham's shocked to learn of his passing on social media.
I met him off a Boys and Girls Club, a few years older than me, and he was a great mentor and someone that was well respected in the city.
Police on scene recovered ballistics evidence and are canvassing the neighborhood, vowing to hold those responsible accountable.
The concern for retaliation or additional acts of gun violence is something we're very concerned about and we're giving a lot of attention to. We want to assure the community that we are committing vast resources to this investigation.
This is still an active investigation. Police are asking anyone with information to give them a call. In Lynn, Brianna Borghi, WCVB News Center 5.
Well, one of the areas we revisited today is Hamilton Street, which remains closed to the public while they fix those commuter rail tracks. You may remember that the tracks sort of dangled over that huge ravine that was carved out by the floodwaters. As you see, the tracks are now gone and repairs have started. There is impressive progress here, but still a lot of recovery to come.
Getting up this morning, I looked and I said, freedom, thank you. And it never felt so good to go back to work today.
Eric Morin was able to drive in and out of his neighborhood today for the first time since last Monday, when the floodwaters washed out the only bridge in. The city hired a contractor who worked with MassDOT to build a temporary road. It'll be paved soon, and that bridge will now be replaced sooner than later.
There's only so much we can do, and I don't really have the tools for it,
Over on Burridge Ave, we checked in on Anthony Courteau and family, who saw nearly 3 feet of water flood their finished basement. They've since filled 2 dumpsters, ripping out the walls and flooring, trying to prevent black mold.
That whole basement is gone. It's probably like $30,000 worth of damage.
And your insurance has not been helpful, you said?
No, I'm going to call them Monday again and harass them at this point. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
The city has set up dumpsters for flood-ravaged debris on Priest Street across from Doyle Field. Several roads have now been reopened, but Pleasant Street isn't one of them. You remember that huge sinkhole there. Gas lines have now been relayed, but a new culvert will have to be built because the raging floodwater destroyed the old one. And by the way, this house on the corner has officially been condemned now. Meanwhile, over at the high-rise on Main Street, residents were relocated yesterday to a hotel or to stay with family. A generator had been providing temporary power, but the mayor says the electrical system here needs a bigger fix.
Everyone's been working there around the clock, so we're hoping next week, fingers crossed, we're hoping next week we can get them back inside the building.
Okay. And we now know about 200 homes and businesses were damaged by the floodwaters, and many owners are not getting good news from their insurance companies. The mayor says the plan is to bring MEMA in here to help residents apply for funding to help cover their losses. That should happen sometime this week. We're in Leominster. I'm Mary Salata, WCVB News Center 5.
An EF0 tornado tore through this Stoughton neighborhood during yesterday's storms, and now today the focus is on the cleanup. This tree removal crew getting an early start in Stoughton, cleaning up properties hit by 70 to 80 mile-per-hour winds.
We tend to the needs of the customers, like first responders. We put everything aside and then we come to tend their needs.
Yesterday's tornado brought down trees on several streets, including at this home on Winship Way.
For trees as large as you've seen me drop down here behind the hopper, the chipper, we have to have the crane, which is this size, to take care of it.
Isis Barbosa says a job of this size takes 4 to 5 hours. His crew alone has 3 houses on this road to take care of.
We're really well prepared, we have all the equipment. We do have 4 crews just about the same size, which are all out right now doing the same thing I'm doing today.
To see like a crane you would expect working on like a skyscraper, lifting trees out of the ground is pretty intense.
Jordan Bennett lives 1 street over from where the tornado touched down. Luckily, his property was spared.
50 yards close to our house, and we have a lot of trees over here. That would have been really bad, and I'm just thankful it didn't happen, and it seems everyone's safe.
Even the weakest tornado can cause a lot of damage, and as you can see, still a lot to clean up here. In Stoughton, Brianna Borghi, WCVB News Center 5.
How is she doing at home?
It may be small, but the Animal Rescue League of Boston's Wellness Wagon is playing a big role in reducing the number of animals being surrendered in the city. 5 years ago, the nonprofit launched their mobile veterinary clinic to bring high-quality animal care directly to pet owners in neighborhoods with high levels of surrenders, including Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, and East Boston.
For $10, you can bring your dog or cat, a veterinary exam with our wonderful team of veterinarians, any vaccine your dog or cat may need.
The wagon hit the road in 2018, but critically partnered with the Action for Boston Community Development, which gives people tools to help them get out of poverty and better their lives.
And we thought, gee, we haven't really ever considered the pet needs of our families, and they're really important.
That partnership has paid off and has helped cut the number of pets being surrendered. Take Dorchester, for example. The ARL says on average 168 animals were being surrendered each year between 2013 and 2017. But between 2018 and 2022, that number went down to 105 animals each year, a drop of 37%.
We provide a lot of necessities, basic essentials. Let's make this part of that comprehensive support for our communities.
Supporting people and their pets, whether it's a vet visit or just getting some animal food, doing whatever they can to help keep pets in their homes and out of shelters.
Our dream is to be able to be on the road 5-6 days a week and service more communities in Boston. That is our dream. We'll get there, but we're not there yet.
And the Animal Rescue League relies on donations. They're hoping the public support for the Wellness Wagon will allow them to expand their services to West Roxbury, Hyde Park, and Jamaica Plain, which have all seen increases in pets being surrendered. Reporting in Roxbury, Matt Reed, WCVB News Center 5.
The sounds of riding the Blue Line just got a whole lot sweeter, thanks to a group of Berkeley students.
That's wonderful. I feel so good when I entering the entrance
and hearing the music. Keyboardist Liz Sin and her trio, made up of Berkeley alumni Noah Harrington and Gen Yoshimura, performing a medley of jazz songs just inside Wonderland Station in Revere.
We've been seeing some people look over, give us a nod, a knowing look, taking some videos with their cameras. It's been fun.
This is a new partnership between the school, MassDOT, and the MBTA to deliver live music to riders in an effort to brighten the commute for Blue Line riders. Every Tuesday and Thursday for the next month, different bands and performers will rotate at Blue Line stations for both the morning and evening commutes.
People, I guess nowadays, or I guess just in general, fall into such a routine all the time, I guess like all of us do, so it must be nice, hopefully, for people to come into the subway and experience something a little new.
And as riders and people all over feel the effects of the Sumner Tunnel shutdown, the live music is a welcome addition to free fares along the Blue Line, even for those just visiting the city.
I'm actually from Seattle, so this is my first experience with it.
What do you think?
I love it. It's great.
If you're looking for more music from Berkeley students, you can find them Tuesday evenings at Aquarium Station 5 to 6:30 and Thursday mornings right here at Wonderland Station from 8:30 until 10. In Revere, I'm Katie Thompson, WCVB News Center 5.
This is one of the biggest events in Boston this weekend. Thousands will come here to the BCEC, where pop culture collides. Whether it's Star Wars, Ghostbusters, comics, gaming, anime, or cosplay. Cosplay? What is that?
Cosplay is short for costume playing. It is a hobby that people use to dress up as their favorite characters from fiction, whether it's TV, comics, video games, anime.
It's a good, don't have to worry. Plenty to see here or play here, and many waiting for their favorite character in person. More on that in a minute. But 55,000 come for the fun.
Nerds are really having a moment right now, I think, so everyone's just having a great time. That's what we come here for.
And the money. Fan Expo is a huge boom for Boston businesses for 3 days in August.
We're not just a consumer show that's welcoming people from the local area. People come in from 3 to 5 hour radius. We're selling hotel rooms. People are eating in the restaurants in the area. So, and of course, our partners like the BCEC, et cetera, are all benefiting. So it's a significant impact.
Oh yes, remember that big star people lined up to see at Fan Expo and get an autograph? It's Henry Winkler, better known as the Fonz from Happy Days. He's no stranger to Boston.
I've been here for 4 years because of Emerson College. Yay, Emerson. Regina's Pizza. Yay, Regina's. And these people are so incredibly warm.
The other big star here this weekend was William Shatner of Star Trek fame, where he took a lot of questions from fans. If you want to get to the Fan Expo, it ends on Sunday. At the BCEC, I'm Ted Wayman, WCVB News Center 5.
A man from Harvard built a special camera back in the spring, hoping to see some meteors, but the summer has not provided a lot of clear nights. Well, this morning it happened. Not only was it a meteor, but a fireball.
A flash in the night sky, wowing stargazers everywhere. At 3:02 this morning, what looks like a shooting star blazed across the New England sky.
Sometimes they are brighter than others, and if they reach a certain brightness, that's when we call them a fireball.
The fireball is actually a meteor that's burning up as it falls through the Earth's atmosphere.
And it's slamming into the atmosphere, which is slowing it down, and all that friction, all that speed spilling off is causing the air around it to light up and glow.
Take this off, you can see sort of the guts of it.
Joe Zajac shows us a special camera he built to capture images of meteors.
I built this with parts from Home Depot and some from Amazon, and I also 3D printed a few parts.
An engineer and astronomy lover, this stargazer scored a spectacular view of the fireball.
In the picture, if you look at it carefully, you can see at the start it's kind of like a reddish orange color, and at the end, when it completely disintegrated, it was more like a green-blue color.
Some PVC pipe, know-how, and a love for the stars combined to capture this rare event.
This one was particularly cool because it was so bright. It's a really fun part of my hobby. Astrophotography and what's going on in the night sky is pretty fascinating.
Zajac points out he did not design the camera, but he did construct it, and he ended up spending just $150. In Harvard, Sarah Conji, WCVB News Center 5.
The likelihood of this happening, we were better off playing the lottery.
Forget a bag of cold hard cash. Jeff Ilg and Amelia Rainville have a bag of?
About 10 pounds of ice.
This was the biggest one that we found. This was on the step, and then all these fragments.
Little pieces everywhere.
The couple's sons had just gone to bed around 10 Sunday night, but when they finally sat down,
We heard the biggest crash that I've ever heard in my life.
It sounded like an explosion.
Yeah. And there was like, you could hear things hitting the roof.
thinking the house was struck by lightning, Amelia raced outside while Jeff ran out back. But what he found didn't make sense.
I ran out the back door and saw ice everywhere.
Giant chunks of ice on the lawn and the roof. Grabbing a flashlight and taking a closer look,
We have a hole in our roof.
Jeff made his way up to the attic, took a look around, saw the giant hole with the ice on the ground.
Oh my God!
This is wild. Where does a giant block of ice come from?
While it's unclear where the ice came from, Jeff and Amelia have an idea.
Our initial thought was it had to have been something falling from an airplane.
The weather was clear, not a cloud in the sky, and the couple's home is right below a flight path. Now, they're left trying to figure out the icy mystery.
It's not from our neighbor playing a prank, that's for sure.
In Shirley, Emily Maha, WCVB News Center 5.
Summer camps are in full swing. Art camps, sports camps, even sleepover camps. But have you ever heard of an automotive repair summer boot camp? We hadn't, so we decided to check it out. It's not the sounds of your average summer camp. No splashing here, but you may get wet and dirty with engine oil.
It's like life skills. Like now I know how to change my tire and I can rotate my tires. I put together an engine yesterday, so that was really cool.
Welcome to Auto Boot Camp. 24 kids from Framingham High partnering with Mass Bay's Auto Technology School, teaching kids everything from oil and tire changes to brakes and transmissions.
It is a good way to make a living.
Matt Franchetti is part camp counselor, part technician.
That kid who's maybe not necessarily into classroom, he's more of a hands-on learner. Maybe likes taking things apart.
Trade schools are back in fashion but hard to get in because of a growing demand. That's why Framingham is partnering with Mass Bay.
The industry is really starving for new techs. Anytime we place a student in a co-op, that dealer is saying, do you have 2, do you have 3 more students?
Salaries for auto techs with formal training start around $45,000 a year, and within 3 years, those techs can make over $100,000.
Hold the socket.
With little or no college debt from a 4-year college degree, trade jobs are gaining traction among high school kids like Jordan Diaz.
Go for it. Sky's the limit, you know? Go chase your dream. Don't let anyone stop you. Don't be discouraged. You know, put yourself to the challenge.
Mass Bay expects other school districts to get in on their summer camps next year. If you'd like more information on it, you can go to our website, WCVB.com. In Framingham, I'm Ted Wayman, WCVB News Center 5.
Young man, get down from there.
Cameras capturing a dangerous stunt. A man walking on top of a red line train while it crosses over the Neponset Street Bridge.
My roommate just gasped, and I looked over and there's this guy on the train.
Eiley Thomasebi and her roommate walked out of the gym yesterday and couldn't believe their eyes.
He was just walking on top of the train and he was texting.
The train was leaving Quincy and heading toward the JFK UMass stop. At the end of the video, you can see the man start to climb down.
That train, it also goes underground. So when did he get on, and when, how long was he up there? Because I don't know. It was just a few moments where I saw him.
The Tease says standing on top of a moving train is extremely dangerous and illegal. It can result in serious injury or death. We urge anyone who sees someone standing on top of a train to call 911 immediately.
That's pretty crazy.
We showed T-Riders the video.
You see some crazy things on the T. But that might just take the cake. Like standing on top of the train, it's a little dangerous.
Eiley says she's seen some out of the ordinary things on the T, but nothing quite like this.
He could have fallen off, and if he fell off, there's that bridge. He would have fallen hundreds of feet, and he would have died. Yeah. It's just so stupid. It was so stupid.